Okay, today in InDesign, we're going to be learning 4 or 5 different things that we did not learn yesterday about text. We're going to learn about text wrapping. We're going to learn about jumping and some more things about using the pen tool that I think will help you guys out a lot. So as you can see, yesterday, all of our boxes were rectangles. Picture boxes, text boxes were rectangles, but you can use ovals as well. If you look on your toolbar and you hold down which tool is that? The ellipse frame tool underneath the rectangular frame tool. You also have polygons in there as well. So you can draw out ellipses. And what I like to do personally so that I can see everything is just to fill my picture boxes in with the color. So that way when I go to change my view from normal to preview, I'll be able to see kind of like a little placeholder there. If my picture boxes are clear, I'm not able to see everything all the time. So check that out next time you get a chance. So I'm gonna change my view back to normal. It gives me all my grids and stuff like that. Okay. So take a look up at the board. Take a look at my text box. Ooh. You see that? It's called a jump. No matter where I put that second text box, if this text overflows, it's going to flow into that second text box right there. I could even put it on a different page and it will still do the exact same thing. Ready to do it? All right, give yourself a little bit of space. Make a text box. Use the type tool, drag out a text box. And right click and fill with placeholder text. Make another text box kind of close by. I'm gonna make mine over here. And on that one, don't do anything. Just click back on your black arrow. Now, if I make this first box here smaller, you'll see my text doesn't fit in there anymore. It disappears. And what InDesign does, and pretty much all page layout programs, they have this little plus symbol here, this little red box, that lets me know that there's more text in this box that I just can't see. Okay? I got a text overflow. And so what I can do is I can click on that red box and it gives me this little icon, this little paragraph icon that looks like that. Am I going too fast? I'll back up again. So you got a text box, you got your text in your text box. Right click, fill with placeholder text. When you make the text box smaller, you'll see the little plus symbol pop up. You can click on the plus symbol until you get this little paragraph icon right there. Next step, easy as apple pie, click inside of the second text box that we made, and you just made a jump. Now, if you stretch out that first text box, you'll notice the text jump back into it. Okay. Now, you can link 3, 4, 5 different text boxes together. It doesn't just have to be one into another. You can link them on different pages. You can do a lot of different stuff. Everybody cool? Pretty easy? All right, let's go on to the next part. Take a look at what I did. This is completely easy. Let me show you what I did. First of all, let's dissect it a little bit. You'll notice my text box, it isn't in a rectangle anymore, but it's in this weird shape, right? The other thing that you'll notice is I have 5 columns. So I'm gonna delete it and I'll make it again real quick. I'll show you how I did it. So go to either a blank page or empty page. You don't have to do exactly what I did, just as long as you know the technique. And I grabbed the pen tool on my toolbar. And I just clicked and I made a shape. So I held down shift to make straight lines. I clicked up here, clicked over there, and then I finished up where I started from. So I used the pen tool to make a shape. Again, yours doesn't have to be exact. But make a shape. I then used the selection tool, the black arrow tool. And you'll notice when I move that around for the very first time, it's not necessarily a text box. But if you right click on that object, you can go down to content and you can tell the computer what type of box that is. A graphic, which is a picture box, or it could be a text box. And you can control those. You can flip back and forth at any time. So I chose text box and it converted it into a text box for me. Once it's a text box, I just right click and I filled with placeholder text again. So once you got to that point, the rest is easy. You just gotta make the box first. So I'll back up again. First thing you need to do after you make your shape is to right click and go to content. You have to tell the computer that it's a text box. So you change the content to text, and voila, there you go. Right click again. Now you can fill with placeholder text. So everything is really in the right click. Now to make your columns is easy as well. Just right click again, and this time go to text frame options. The key command is Control B. Learn that one because you're going to use it a lot in InDesign. Control B, Control B, Control B. But it's text frame options. Text frame options then brings up this dialog box, and you can control the number of columns right here. So I made mine 5 columns. If you click on the little preview button, take a look up at the screen. If you click on the little preview button at the bottom right hand corner, it'll show you what it looks like before you click OK. So if you don't like it, you can make any adjustments you want up in there. If you do like it, go ahead and click OK. And say Shazam. Thank you. Now, the rule is the fewer columns, the better, but you want to match your publication. So if you just have an 8.5 by 11 document, 3 columns is cool. If you're doing a newspaper, they use 5 and 6 column layouts. Okay, so if you got a small publication, just use like 2 columns and you'll be all right. You don't want to have like a 6 column brochure because it makes reading it very difficult. So I'm gonna go back to mine. I'm gonna change mine to 3 column. Control B is the key command. And when we do a 3 column, you'll notice it matches our page exactly. Everybody cool? All right, let's move on to the next one. Take a look at this one. This one is called a text wrap. If I click on this object over here and I move it, take a look how the text moves with it as well. Even on this side over here, it'll still wrap around that object. For that object, what I did is I used the pen tool again. I made a shape. I right clicked, I went to content, but instead of a text box, I used a graphic box. So I can put a picture in here. I can put whatever I want in that box. I use the pen tool. Now, if you go to Window, Text Wrap, if you go to Window, Text Wrap, you can click on that shape and you can adjust the text wrap right there. The one I use is Wraparound Object Shape. So instead of trying to make this shape like I made it here, just use a circle or an oval or any other object that you have. Don't waste the time trying to make this shape right now. So use an oval. Use the ellipse tool. Fill it in with the color and put a wraparound on it. Now take a look up at the screen. Once you put a wraparound on an object, you can use this button here. That's an offset button. That'll control how close your text wraps around your object. So if I put this down here, let's say, and you don't want the text really close to your circle, use that little up arrow and that'll push your text away from your circle. It'll still keep the contour. Window text wrap. Window text wrap. Or Control Alt W. Now, what I did to that piano shape that I made is I clicked on a drop shadow. So go up in your top menu bar. I clicked on a drop shadow. What else? I also lowered the transparency a little bit as well. So you can play around with all those little special effects up there. Is there anybody that does not know how to do a text wrap? Please raise your hand at this time. Betty, you know? All right, take a look up at the screen. Here's a Word document, right? You guys see that? Whenever you see something underlined in red, what does that mean? It's misspelled, okay? So this one here is called Article 1 document. Your next project is going to be to take some articles that I stayed up until 5 o'clock this morning typing up for you. I want you to take those articles and I want you to make a newsletter with those articles. You're going to have to read the articles, you're going to have to know what they say, and you're going to have to find pictures on the internet to put your newsletter together. It's going to be a one-page document with two sides. Okay, so it's going to be, or excuse me, we can just call it two-page newsletter. So you can take Word documents and drop them right into InDesign. So all you got to do is make a text box, and then just like you put in a picture, you go to File, Place, or Control D, and then you can click on your Word document, and it drops it right into InDesign. Okay, the thing that I want you guys to do, and here's the tricky part, is this is typed in paragraph form. It doesn't look like a newsletter at all. Okay. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to reformat this so that it looks like a newsletter. Okay? You're going to have to put your masthead, you're going to have to put your headlines and your bylines, you're going to have to put your pictures and all that stuff. You're going to have to do all your text wraps, but I've done the articles for you. Inside of the InDesign project folder is a folder called Newsletter Layout Assignment. I have 3 articles here that I want you to put on 2 pages. It's going to seem like a lot of information, but I need for you to read the articles and to make sure you understand what you're placing first. I made some mistakes on purpose to catch people who don't actually read the articles and look for mistakes. So anything that you see is underlined in red means I purposely spelled those so that you have to go through and do spell check and all those things. Okay, so that's going to be your next assignment. Before you start on the next assignment, though, I want you to finish the dummy that we did yesterday. I want you to finish those, and then if you finish that, then you can start on this one. Okay, and everything, like I said, is located in the P drive in the InDesign projects folder for you. All right, all the articles and everything. I think I got an article there about soccer. Yeah, World Cup. I got another one in there about something else I forgot. Spider-Man. There you go. Okay. So make sure that you read these articles because they may not make sense unless you read them. All right. Okay. That is all from me. You have the rest of the class period to work.